Hey everyone, welcome to the styling panel interview. I hope you're all excited. I think we will begin with a round of introductions to our beautiful viewers.
Yes, yeah.
So please tell everyone about yourself. I think we'll start with you, Brittany. You can tell everyone about you, who you are, what you do, and
Okay.
then we'll go to Key afterwards.
Perfect. So, hey everyone, I am B Garrett. Of course, you'll call me Brittany. That's my first name, but I go by B Garrett. I am a motivational influencer here located in the DMV area. I am a New York City native, but I've been living in the DMV area for quite some time. I work in a high school as a student wholeness specialist, and outside of that, that's what my degree is in human services, working in that particular direct care field. And outside of that, I'm into lifestyle influencing. Anything you could possibly think of about lifestyle, that is what I'm definitely into. But mostly my platform is about encouraging and motivating women to be true in their authentic self, and however that looks like for them, and just kind of being that voice to help them find their voice.
I love that. I love that.
Thank
That's
you. Thank you.
amazing. I'm here for the culture and I'm here for the woman empowerment.
Yes,
And I'm really big on staying true to who you are and staying true to your
absolutely.
authentic self. I think that's just a great mantra or way to live your life. So that's great. So nice to meet you. What about you, Key? Where you from? Where you are?
Yeah, so this might be a shocker for most people on here. I'm actually from Alaska originally, so I'm a military brat.
Whoa.
But yeah, I'm a
Oh,
military brat, so that's how I ended up in Alaska. But I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, still here currently, and I'm a CPG consultant by day. So basically, I work with companies within the consumer packaged goods sphere, and I essentially help them with figuring out how to win sales and exceed sales online and retain customers, whether they're a retailer or a brand. So that's what I do during the day. And now I'm a lifestyle influencer. So just like Brittany said, I do anything that you could think of when you think about lifestyle, but like my main focus is mostly like travel and fashion and then food. And I think
Ooh.
that's
ooh, I
all.
love
And
that.
and my handle is Key Finds. So KHY Finds.
Okay. Nice,
Super.
nice, nice. I love that. So, finally, I'll be your host. My name is Chloe. I am a stylink US brand ambassador, and I'm so glad you could all join me today. Unfortunately, April was not able to join the interview. However, we will reschedule her interview to another day, maybe next week. So for today, I know it was supposed to be three exceptional content creators, but it will just be you two today. Um, and like I said, I'm so glad that you were able to join me today. And a big welcome to all our viewers. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for joining. And don't forget to share this with your community because we don't want to miss this, okay? So we do have many topics to discuss, from diversity in fashion and the influencer industry to ways we can and should celebrate Black History Month beyond February. So not only just February, but every single day is Black History Day, okay? And I have some questions lined up, which I will direct to one of you, and I hope that like if I do ask Brittany a question afterwards, Kiara could add on to it. And you can feel free to jump into it as well. Sound good?
Sounds
Okay.
like a plan.
Okay. So Brittany, this one's for you. When did you first consider yourself as a content creator or influencer?
Oh, that's a really good question. I feel like I've been on Instagram for as long as Instagram has been in existence. And I feel like I don't think I really started to own being a content creator and influencer until about like 2018-ish. I feel like that's when I started to see so much growth across my platform, and really starting to define what I was doing on Instagram, right? When I first started Instagram, it was just a place for me to keep up with people, post, my pictures, and, from me just posting my pictures and kind of just getting exposed to different people, people would comment on my page like, "Oh girl, where you get this from?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I just I just came across this in the store. And, you know, from there it kind of grew. And then when I started to really like get into this space, 2015, 2016, I, you know, here in the DMV area, networking with the plus size community here, I kind of just started seeing my platform grow. And I feel like in 2018 was the moment where I was just like, okay, I'm really an influencer. Like,
Okay.
so that's kind of when I, you know, started really recognizing it and kind of accepting that as something that I was doing.
Wow, that's really nice. Kudos to you. You're doing such a good job. I love how you were talking about, you know, like including plus size women, especially in a society where, you know, sometimes you're told, oh, you can't do this because you're not this and you're not that. So I like how you have that diversity. I think it's very important to initiate it in our everyday life. So good, 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 good. I love that. What about you, Key? When did you first consider yourself as an influencer?
Honestly, I still grapple with the thought of it because I first and foremost think of the fact that I'm a creative and that the creativity within me is like based upon me being a writer and based upon me being someone that speaks through fashion. So most of the clothes that I wear are items that represent like just my personality. And I'm very whimsical and feminine in my dress. So I feel like I gravitate towards those patterns or those colors or those feminine features of an outfit or of a piece of clothing. So I felt like I don't know when I started to feel like I was a content creator. Maybe it was because just having friends who are in the influencer world, a lot of them would tell me like, here, you're already doing it. You're already doing it. You just need to start tagging. And I'm like, no, I don't think I'm doing it. I think I'm just, you know, just out here being me. And then eventually, as I just like really started just to tag things and just be present and just to like step into the space, I had my friends then come to me and say, oh my God, you're such a natural, like you're doing it. And I think it's still in the back of my mind, like, am I doing it? It's almost like when you start riding a bike for the first time, you're like, oh my God, I'm doing it. And you keep going, but you're still amazed that you're actually riding the bike. So I feel like that's the space I'm embodying right now.
Okay, I love that.
I think that's so dope, Key, that you mentioned, like, you know, you're just being yourself. And I think that's the best part. Like when we have these platforms, it's a chance to, you know, we're just being our authentic self. And it's beautiful.
Yes.
People just follow us because we're being our self.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's beautiful, and it's beautiful to stay like you said earlier, you know, like staying true to yourself, because I feel like people gravitate towards real. People want to see the real you, because you know, on social media people don't really show you who they really are, and people don't talk about like their downfall. So the fact that you do it and you show like, listen, every day is not great, every day is not a good day. I don't look this pretty every day. I look kind of, you know, I'm human and I'm real, and I feel like people gravitate towards real, and it's so important to just stay true to who you are, like your raw self.
Yes, I agree.
I love that. I love that. And so, Ki, I have another question for you. Have you seen changes in the fashion industry towards diversity?
I feel like yes, slowly but surely is what I'm hoping for. And I say that because I feel like it's very important for the fashion industry to really represent all walks of life and all different types of body types, all different languages, all different like looks. And I feel like the way that the fashion industry really started, it didn't showcase those things. And now we're starting to see these artists come about who don't look like us or who may look like us, and they're from a different nationality. And I think that's something that's very beautiful, or a different culture. However, I feel that when we think about like the Black community, it's very hard for us to be showcased in such a limelight in certain instances. And I feel that when they do showcase us, whether that be a model or a creative that's a designer, it can almost be taken as if someone's stolen that design from us, or they're just showcasing us as a model to placate society and say, hey, we're doing it. And it's almost like an ad, if you will. However, I do feel that that's not the entirety of the fashion industry. I do feel like there are instances where there is change, where there are propelling forward. And I think it's beautiful. However, I think it's doing so in a very slow fashion.
Definitely.
Do you have anything to add on to that, Brittany?
You know, I kind of echo what Key has said. You know, I feel like it's something that's happening slowly but surely. But, you know, I think that we're still in this space where they are still using Black and brown people as pawns in this game, to say like, oh look, here's a Black girl, look at her, here's a Black boy, look at her. But I think, and even when we think about the diversity that they're trying to include into these fashion spaces, it's always a particular look, right?
Yeah.
It's always a particular Black person that they have a certain look that they're going for to fit their aesthetic. And sometimes and like, where is the everyday looking Black folks? You know what I'm saying? Not Black folks that have to have a certain skin tone, have to have a
certain body, right?
Yes.
So I feel like it's long overdue that we start to see more of us in these spaces, and not to be just like fantasize almost. It's like a fetishize. There we go. Like, I feel like sometimes they fetishize Black folks, and particular looking Black folks in certain spaces.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, okay, if we have a campaign, because we need to include a Black girl, which is for the aesthetic, or just
one though,
just so that we look like we're doing a good job. Let's just include one Black girl in this campaign, so it doesn't look like it's just like there's no Black people a part of the campaign.
Absolutely. And so, I mean, I just feel like we have so much far to go when it comes to that.
We do. And so with that being said, Brittany, like, what are the most important things that you try to represent as a content creator?
You know, I said this earlier, but authenticity. Like, it's so important that as a content creator, I remain authentic and I am real with my audience, real with my community, because a lot of times social media can be a facade for so many. You get on the app and you see all the great things that people are doing. You see the green grass, right? Like, we see
you don't see the behind the scenes.
You don't see the brown grass, right? And so for me, it is important for me to be that to my community, to let them know that, you know, like Cardi B says, I'm the regular degular girl from the Bronx. I am a regular degular girl.
I know that's right.
I'm no better than anybody else. So sometimes I get on this app and I look, you know, here I'm in my office at work. You know, I took my lunch break and I'm like, this is me, right? This is the real me. And I want people to know that I'm not always made up and photo shoot ready. My hair is not always prime and primped and slick, but I'm always kept. And I want my community to understand that anything within their reach is attainable. And even if you feel like it's out of your reach, it's attainable. So authenticity is super important for how I stay true to my community and what I represent, especially being a fat, loud Black girl from the Bronx, from the projects of the Bronx, who grew up in a foster care system. Like, it's so important for me to just be authentically me and show people that being an influencer doesn't always look like the pretty, beautiful houses.
It's not always as glamorous as it looks.
It always look like that. Some influencing looks just like me, okay? The regular girl who still works a 9 to 5.
And it's okay. I feel like, you know, you have conversations with people. It's always like such a bad thing to have a 9 to 5. Like, no, it's okay to be a normal girl. It's okay.
It's okay to be diverse in every aspect.
Right. It's okay to have a 9 to 5. It's okay to not look pretty all the time. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to not have it all figured out. You know what I mean? But I feel like social media and the society has made it so accustomed to, you have to look a certain way. You have to live this bougie, lavish lifestyle. And I'm just like, there's no beauty in that, because you're not being real.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
9 to 5 gang. Yes.
You gotta collect your coins however you can.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with it. It makes you who you are.
Nothing wrong
with it. It actually
helps
fuel your content, honestly.
It gives you so much different spaces, because you can literally be an influencer in any space that you want. Like, I work with high school students, and there are so many different ways that I can use
influence them.
That space, right? To boost it. So, I mean, it's all in perspective. Either you're gonna look at the glass half empty or half full. Like, is it gonna be a problem or a possibility? You know,
possibility. Yes.
I like that.
We're at church. Okay, Brittany.
Yes. Okay, Brittany, preach. I love that. I love that so much. It's so important to you know, just stay true to yourself. Don't let the outside world tell you who you need to be and what you need to be and what level of beauty you need to be. Just be yourself, and people will gravitate towards that.
I couldn't agree more.
I love that. And so, Kia, what do you think? Like, how can the industry improve and move away from representation just for the sake of representation? You know, like how we mentioned earlier, like, oh, they just put in black girls in just to put black girls in.
I think they have to come from a thought process of authenticity and not to appease a particular group. So I feel like what we were discussing, it was for the sake of appeasement to say, hey, you're saying that your people or people that identify as Black or people that look like you aren't being represented on our runways or in our pictures or in our campaigns and so on and so forth. So why don't we just grab someone that kind of looks like you or is within the community and say, okay, there you go, we plopped her in there. And that's not what we want. What we want for that particular fashion industry to do is to say, okay, all walks of life are different. Everyone needs to be like identified in some way, shape, or fashion. It shouldn't matter what they look like. It should matter about what they bring to the table. It should matter about what their resume is like for this particular campaign. And it should not just adhere to the beauty standards that are westernized today. So I feel like those are the things that are needed to release the appeasement and to just say, okay, open your eyes and see what's within this country and see what's around the world. Not everyone looks exactly the same, and that's the beauty of it. So represent that.
Right. I like that. I like that. Oh, and then Kiwi had a question for you. You mentioned your 9 to 5 influences your content creation. Can you give examples?
Yeah, so essentially how I'm influenced by my day job is the fact that I work in e-commerce. So I work in that e-commerce space. So there's something that's always moving or improving or just a juxtaposition of what I thought was supposed to happen, but it's exponentially grown. So for example, I started in this space in 2020 when COVID first hit. So we started to really look at, okay, what's that going to look like? How are we going to get our groceries? We're not allowed out. So then you started to see the surge in delivery intermediaries, which is like your DoorDash or your Instacart. So having that and seeing that trajectory and seeing how that has grown has really unlocked my brain to be open to different spaces and ways of thinking and saying, okay, let's problem solve. And that's kind of what Brittany was touching upon, like the possibility of opposed to it being a problem.
Absolutely.
So that's what I meant, that it unlocked my brain in a way to look at different avenues in every aspect of my life, and that's how it's influenced my content.
Dope.
That's great. I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that so much. And Brittany, how would you describe your personal style?
How would I describe my personal style? I'm gonna say this again because I'm the regular girl from the Bronx. About New York City fashion, you know, it is just like this regular like vibe, this regular season, you
like
know,
streetwear.
Yeah, streetwear is definitely my thing. I'm a sneaker person. I love sneakers. I know Key was talking about, you know, she taps into her like the very feminine side of prints and fabrics and stuff like that. And I feel like I'm a little bit of the opposite. Like I love, you know, I love jeans. I love sneakers. I love, you know, graphic t-shirts and oversized. Like right now I'm wearing my uncle's retired Navy, Army jacket when he was in the military. You know, it has our last name and everything. So for me, I love that gritty, edgy tomboy look, but because I'm still a woman, you know, and I have like body going on, so you can still see that.
Yes. Okay, body.
So it's not like I'm trying to be masculine, but you can see the masculinity, but with the touch of femininity in how I put my outfits together, how I dress. I'm all about comfort too. And don't get me wrong, I could do both. You know, I can put the heels on. You know, I can slay my wig when I want to put it on. Like I can do all different types of things, but my go-to is always going to be some jeans and some sneakers, a nice t-shirt, and just putting it all together and just being able to get up and go. Like this is my go. If you see me at work 9 to 5, typically I'm in a matching 2-piece sweatsuit set, okay, with some fly sneakers.
Cozy gang, cozy girls worldwide. Okay.
Exactly. So I mean, my personal style is like just comfort. I love to match too. That's one thing that I do. Like if my shoes have a certain color, then I'm gonna have a top or accessory. My jacket is gonna match that shoe up. But 9 times out of 10, you're gonna always see me in some fly sneakers. Okay.
Yes, I love sneakers too, and I think I saw that on your page. I was like stalking you. I'm like, you love sneakers. That's my girl.
Yes.
I like that. I like that. So, Key, what shop did you use for your fashion haul?
I use Nordstrom Rack.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. What about you, Brittany?
I went with H&M. It was so many good choices, but I
Yes.
feel like, you know, H&M just really spoke to where I am. I feel like I'm trying to shift into just shift into this style. Like H&M has a very solid prints, right? There's very solid, very simple colors and the color palette. And I'm just like, this is what's calling me. The neutrals, the greens. Like I'm just like, okay, wait, this
This
is
is me.
so I use that opportunity to shop with H&M. Key, you said Nordstrom Rack, and I wouldn't even thought, like, what made you go with Nordstrom?
So I am a Nordstrom girl. I really do love Nordstrom because okay, so let's take a step back. I didn't realize I was a label person. And I say that with a grain of salt because I gravitate towards the quality of clothing and
Yeah.
not what the label says. And typically 9 times out of 10, when I grab the item, it's a label. I can't help it. I like nice stuff. So I chose Nordstrom Rack because I noticed I would always find things within Nordstrom Rack, and I always like going within the store and shopping online because their algorithm is really nice. So they'll start to show me items that I would love. And then when I go in the store, I'm like, okay, I might find something different that wasn't online. You know, I love the treasure hunt. So that's why I chose Nordstrom Rack. And it does kind
Okay.
of speak to like my fashion sense as well.
It's who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you complete the theme I am, Brittany, with using with shopping at H&M? How did you complete the theme I am?
Um, you know, again, I'm going back to my mantra. I am the girl next door, right? Like I am this, you know, I'm this down to earth, this big personality, but also a little shy, which people don't really know about me. But
You never say.
I, I am this girl next door, and I use the girl next door term because I am just this regular girl. I'm this down to earth girl. I'm cool. I'm collective. You know, I'm passionate. And I think that
Good.
I don't know if when I dress, that passion speaks out, but I feel like each outfit or, you know, anytime I'm stepping out, each of that like my presence when I step into a space speaks for itself before I have to open my own
Ooh.
mouth.
I
Yeah.
love that.
I don't
Yes.
Feel the presence.
yes,
Yes.
Like I have arrived, okay?
yes. And you know, I feel like it, and that's not being like overly cocky or confident, but I feel like, and you know, people have said this to me in spaces when I've stepped into rooms, just the way that I kind of carry myself in spaces, people are like, okay, well, who is she? You know,
Yes.
who is she? And so, you know, that's just me. I'm the regular degular girl. I'm the girl next door. I am the calm, cool girl. I'm the fun girl. I am this big personality, and sometimes trying to define who and what that is looks different because each day I feel different, and sometimes each day I feel different, look different, but I always show up authentically Brittany. So
I love that. I love
Love
that
it.
so much. I love that. And I wholeheartedly stand behind that. I
Yeah.
feel like even though it comes across as being cocky or, like, oh, she feels herself too much, I feel like it's not even about that. It's more like self-love, like, believing in yourself.
yeah.
And if you carry yourself that way and you confident, you know who you are and what you stand for, I'm that girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously, I'm that girl. Like who is that girl? Oh yes.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Key? How did you complete the I am using your shopping at Nordstrom?
Yeah, so I kind of surmise it into I am that I am. And the reason why I chose to complete the phrase that way is because just like Brittany described, I'm such a complex human being. And I'm all these different things and I've been put in this beautiful person and I get to showcase that to the world. And that may look like me walking into a room, as Brittany said, and like people are witnessing my aura, or that might mean people are attracted to me because of my writing style, or that means people might be attracted to me because of the way that I post or the way that I create content. So I put I am that I am because I'm a complex being and I am someone that's very creative, very outgoing, and so dynamic, but I'm aware that I'm always evolving and growing. So I wanted to leave space for that evolving and that growing, and to be able to say, I don't have to deny change, but embrace the change. And I feel like shopping within Nordstrom Rack kind of helps with that because you have levels of sales. So you can have like a $20 outfit, or you can have like a $150 outfit, and it just based upon whatever level you are in your life financially, and you can still shop within that same space and place.
Definitely.
I love that. I think both you ladies actually answered my next question, which was, you know, like why you picked those words, or does it have a specific meaning or importance to you that you want your following to know?
So, you know, the crazy thing was H&M, I feel like it's one of those places because my followers, a lot of them are still young, you know, millennials in that millennial space. And, you know, when I thought about like affordability and accessibility, you know, H&M does come to mind, especially with a lot of the things that they're trying to do and, you know, doing this recycle piece and making things affordable, but also that quality. And so when I thought about my audience and wanting to do a haul, I feel like sometimes people stray away from shopping in certain places, and I felt like H&M was perfect because it's like right in the center of, you know, this affordability, this quality space, and that my, like, once I put something together, my followers are going to be like, you know, oh wait, now I got to run to the store and go grab that. Like,
Yes.
like this is cute. So I really wanted a place that I felt like I could, you know, do the most with, right? With the budget that I felt like I wanted to do, like, show you, like, how do you shop on this budget? Like, how do you shop on a budget, but shop very well? And I'm all about building my closet to do staple pieces. And I feel like H&M had a lot of staple pieces. And I wanted my followers to see, like, what are some pieces that you just have to have in your closet? And so when I drop my haul, you'll see, like, I said it already, this is just a little a teaser, but jeans are like a staple piece in my closet. And I feel like every girl, every guy should have a good pair of jeans in their closet. And so it was perfect for me to go ahead and do this. And I felt like, again, H&M was going to showcase part of my style and how I'm trying to evolve. So that's definitely why I went with it. And I knew that my audience would really be like, okay, I can go there. I can buy that. I can afford that.
Right. Know? It's reachable.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What about you, Key?
Yeah, so I kind of had the same thought process as Brittany, but like almost opposite. So I feel like a lot of people look at Nordstrom and don't think affordability, but they forget about Nordstrom Rack, which is dwindling. It's just basically grabbing down and trickling down, so to speak, the clothes that were once at Nordstrom into Nordstrom Rack. So therefore it's now at an affordable price. And I previously worked in an off-price retail model, so I was aware of what that system looked like. So I was always at Nordstrom Rack. I'm like, okay, I love this. It got 6 weeks until it drops in Nordstrom Rack. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
So I kind of wanted to open the eyes of my followers and say, hey, you can still shop at Nordstrom Rack. It's totally affordable, and here's how. And I also am a person that chooses staple pieces. However, my staple pieces really tend to be dresses. And it's not really coming from my femininity and the way I dress. It's coming from efficiency. Because when you put on a dress, that's your outfit. You just got to put your jewelry on, and you got to put your shoes on. And that's
just
it.
Throw it on and you're good to go.
That's it. And that's why I'm wearing a dress for right now. It's super efficient. It's super easy. It's almost grab and go in a sense, unless you're getting one of those cocktail dresses, then that's a feat. But essentially, I got staple pieces. I pulled some dresses. So once you see me drop my haul, you'll basically see that I pulled like those staple pieces that are typically found in my wardrobe.
I love that. I cannot wait to see the hauls. I'm so excited for that.
Yes.
So, Brittany, how are platforms like stylink helpful for content creators?
So that's a great question, and I feel like that it's helpful because it's another source of revenue, right? Like we you know, we shop all the time. We are shopping, we're buying clothes all the time, and people are always asking us, you know, where we're getting this stuff. And you know, the idea is that sometimes these brands don't really necessarily pay us when we are buying these clothes, and so stylink provides that opportunity for us to link where we got our stuff, and also an opportunity for us to get some money, you know, for it.
Commission, yes.
And so I think that's pretty dope that stylink gives content creators that opportunity, because again, you know, sometimes a lot of us go out and we buy these clothes with our own hard-earned money that we do. Like, I think a lot of times people look at content creators and think that everything that we have is free and that we don't drop money. And there are some content creators that don't have to pay for stuff. But me personally, I you know, spend a lot of my money on fashion, you know, on clothes, on shoes. And so I like the idea that, yeah, I just spent my money on this, but also now that I've linked this, you're able.
I'm getting my money back.
Right. I can get some for this. And so I think it's pretty cool. And I'm one of those content creators who are like, you asked me where I got something from, here, this is where I got it from. I'm not stingy. I don't
put you
it.
on.
Stylink just makes it easier for me to be like, all right, well, I just spent the coin here and now I get to have a coin back now that I've shared this with someone else.
And it's so simple. Just get a link and that's it.
Exactly.
I love that. Is there anything you'd like to add on to that, Key? How would you say Stylink is helpful for content creators like yourself?
I agree with everything Brittany said. I think it's helpful because it kind of helps elevate that content creator into like that position of showcasing their wear in that way. Because if you think of other products that content influencers usually utilize when we're thinking about linking something and getting like something back in exchange, it doesn't really represent us. It doesn't showcase us. And the way that I went about it is I did a lot of research and I found stylink, and I was like, okay, this is a great place for me to launch myself because they're starting out here in the States. They're obviously diverse in the way that they're showcasing their talent. And it made me feel like more confident in showcasing my like fashion reels and showcasing the tags that I'm like putting against like whatever content that I'm posting at the time. So I think the first thing is very helpful for like inducing or increasing confidence for the content creator. And I think it's super helpful because you get to really interact authentically with those content influencers.
Right.
And as well as allow them to really be shown in the limelight.
Good stuff, Key.
I love that. I think it's great. I think it's also great how, you can also, because people are always asking you like, oh, where did you get this? Where did you get that? And you can kind of also create like a highlight on your Instagram profile and leave it there so that you don't have to find yourself responding to like 20,000 DMs and you just leave it there and people can always refer back to your highlight and, go and click on it and so forth and so forth. And so we have a question in the comments. It says, Black History Month theme this year is health and wellness. With all you ladies, how do you enforce that dynamic in your lives and find balance?
Oh yeah.
You want to go first, Brittany?
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is I'm a big advocate as a Black woman living here in America. I'm an advocate for therapy. And so I do therapy, right? Therapy helps me. That's like my form of self-care. And the things that I learned in therapy allow me to cope in life, right? To be able to understand what my triggers are in life and how to balance that. And so being a content creator, but also working that 9 to 5, is so important to find the balance because sometimes one can become more overwhelming than the other. And depending on what that is, it can drain your energy and you don't feel motivated or encouraged to actually do them. Like right now, I'm on a social media break, right? I haven't really created any content in a very long time, but that's also because I'm in a space in my personal career where I'm trying to like think beyond, like, what is my legacy and what am I leaving, just beyond being a fashion influencer? What do I want to add and how do I want to like bring out my true talents and share that across my platform? So finding that balance sometimes looks like, taking a step back and say, you know what, I need to, rethink this. I need to refresh and I need to, take that step back and look at things at a broader, a broader spectrum or a broader scale to really see where it is that I'm trying to go. And sometimes, it's so good to find that balance because social media can become very obsessive. You get on there and you become so consumed with what you're seeing. And I'm a strong believer that you are what you eat, but that's not just literally, it's figuratively too. What we feed our minds can manifest in our brains in a certain way. And so sometimes taking that step back and realizing, okay, I'm doing too much and now I need to pull back and I need to relax. So I indulge in self-care. Therapy is a great form of balance for me when I feel like my mind is overcrowded from work and, content creation. And, I feel like once my content creation starts to feel like I have to report, right? And it feels like a hectic job. I'm like, whoa.
This is for fun.
This is supposed to be for fun. This is not supposed to be so serious and not supposed to, make you feel like overwhelmed. And so, health and wellness is so important to me, and I love that that is the theme for Black History Month this year, because
Yes.
the health and wellness of Black people is so important, because there is so much negativity against who we are and what we
Yep.
represent in this world, and sometimes we find ourselves looking at each other in a negative light, not realizing that we're in this fight together as people. And so it's important that our health and our wellness is together, because we all know that health is wealth, right? Health
Yes.
is wealth. And when we're
Mm-hmm.
healthy, we're wealthy, and not just financially, but just in every other aspects of our lives. So, you know, I engage in therapy. I do self-care. I take a step back and, you know, sometimes recognize this is too much. This is overwhelming. Let me pull back. But that comes with self-reflection and self-realization, like being able to understand your triggers and what your boundaries are and put those boundaries in place.
I love that. I love that. I love that so much. That was well said. That was really well said. What about you, Key? What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I'm all about balance. I feel like there was a time in my life in undergrad where I was just very imbalanced and a superb overachiever. I mean, like the things that I went to do, like I was dual majoring, working full time, and I had an internship. That was a problem. No longer like that. And I figured out a way to have balance, because if you don't sustain the balance within your life, within yourself, and have that equilibrium, once you become imbalanced, you're so dis-ease in every portion of your life. You start to, your body starts to break down, and you start to develop actual diseases. You start to develop discomfort within yourself. And that discomfort is then broadcasted outside of yourself in every aspect of your life. And that may look like you're losing your job. That may look like you're not able to attend certain successful events within your friend's life because you're just too sick to do it, or you just cannot move from your bed because you're so depressed about it. So when I talk about balance, that means I'm figuring out what it is that I need in my life at that time, to figure out how to rebalance myself. And I have, like, honestly, daily, like even like incremental, like minute by minute check-ins with myself subconsciously. So earlier today, I was triggered by something. Don't know what it was, but I was just like very irritated. And I woke up so happy and joyful. And I just kept saying, like, hey, what is it? What is it? What is it? As I'm like making my breakfast, as I'm doing like my yoga, as I'm like just like, you know, going about my life and what I need to do today. And I was like, okay, that's what it is. This is what triggered me. Is that something that's like really big that I need to like really function on and figure out like, okay, how do I fix it? Or is it something that I just get to say, okay, is this something worth me being upset about? And then that's when I decipher which direction to go into. And I'm also a person that travels for wellness. I realize when I travel, it backs me out of like the zone that I'm in, which means that I'm typically someone that likes to move about, to learn about different cultures, to like thrive in a different place, or to really try to figure out how to interact in that different world, so to speak. So it kind of helps me evolve in a way and grow. And it also opens up my mental space to learn about different things in different ways and to process things differently, because that might not be something that I can learn where I am currently. So when I travel for wellness, it just gives me that opportunity to take a step back and to open myself up. And then when I come back into the space that I'm currently living in, I'm just like, okay, so that wasn't that big of a deal. Or, okay, like now I'm enlightened in a different fashion. So now I've evolved into a space where I could just be happy and free, and that thing won't bother me. So that's the type of person I am when I'm handling my health and wellness. And I also love working out. I spoke to a psychic and he told me I have a warrior spirit.
Okay, warrior spirit.
So I make transformation, but I'm a warrior. I come from the Amazon. I don't know. And he was like, you know, you need to take up kickboxing, because like that energy can ward off people. And it's like, and it's not your fault. You just have like a warrior aura about you. So I do a lot of HIIT exercises or kickboxing when I'm like just revved up and I'm ready to go and I need to get that energy out of me.
I love that.
I love that. I love that. And it's so important to take care of your mental health. I love that that's the topic and the theme for Black History Month. And it's just like a few days ago, I was actually having a conversation with a friend, and I'm like, you know, sometimes you have those days where you feel like you're not doing too much, or you kind of like, okay, I'm here now and this is what I wanted, so what's next? And you get so consumed on the future and what you're not doing, where you actually supposed to actually be appreciating the now and where you are now, because life is so life is so subtle that you often find yourself walking through the doors you once prayed for. So it's like,
Yeah.
I wanted to be here, I'm here now, girl. God bless you with
Yeah.
this. Why are you worried about what's next? And you
Yes.
feel like you're not doing enough. Because
Enjoying the
sometimes I'll be
moment.
feeling like that. Sometimes I'll be looking at other content creators and I'm like, girl, you're not even creating content. Or girl, why are you not doing this? Or you're supposed to be working with, you want to work with these bigger brands, but you're not putting in the work. And sometimes you just feel like you're not doing enough, and it's a real thing. And so it just takes you back to taking care of your mental health and just appreciating where you are now. And it's okay to not have everything figured out, and it's okay to have a bad day. It's a bad day, not a bad life, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And I think I just want, sorry to interrupt, but I just really
okay.
wanted to put out there, especially for like Black women, that endurance is not something that you have to endure, right? Like we've been taught to endure so much just by being a woman, being Black, living in America. And that goes for like Black men too, but like specifically for Black women, I feel like we're taught to carry everything, be
and
so
have
strong,
everything together.
endure it. Yeah, and then we'll get to like, you know, that haven, that space where we just get to like breathe and relax and be excited and be praised for what we've done. However, that does not take into account how badly that breaks you down, how hard that makes you, in the sense that when you do need help, you can't open up because you're like, you've been taught to endure and you think that this is okay. So I think that's really, really important for our community to understand that it's okay to ask for help, even when it's the little instances. Like today, before I put my wig on, I have a ton of curly hair. I couldn't fight with it. Started to cry about it a little bit. And I just called my mom and I was like, Mommy, can you please braid my hair? Just braid my hair. And that way I don't have to fight with the wig or my actual hair. And she braided my hair. And then we had this whole, thank you. We had this whole moment of when she used to braid my hair when I was younger. And we just had the bonding moment. And if I hadn't asked for help, I wouldn't have remembered those memories. I want to share this new memory. And I'll probably be more stressed out on this call. But I'm not.
Right. Yeah, of being strong. Like, let's ditch having to be strong, wanting to be strong, and open up those spaces to be vulnerable and to say, listen, this is not a day for me. Okay, this is not my moment. I don't want to be strong. I don't want to, you know, we think that we have to persevere through everything. I'm not persevering through it today. Right now, I'm just going to sit.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow.
And crying is strong. Crying is a beautiful
and
thing.
And it's okay to cry.
Yeah, it is. It's so
because actually, like when you cry and you let it all out, you actually feel so much better afterwards.
You do. It's like a chemical. It's actually a chemical balance working within your body that's saying like if you release, then you are released from it, right?
Right. And it's you human at the end of the day. Like it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to not have it all figured out. Like just live in the moment and be present, because you know, like life is short. We're living on borrowed time and tomorrow is not promised to anyone. So get rid of all the unnecessary pressure and, you know, being overwhelmed. Just take care of your mental health. That's all that really matters.
Absolutely.
So, Brittany and Key, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm looking forward to seeing your fashion hauls and your upcoming the hauls you're doing with stylink and your favorite styles. I am so excited to see it. So people, if you haven't done it yet, give these beautiful, exceptional content creators a follow on Instagram. Keep your eyes peeled for some amazing fashion content. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. It was so great meeting both of you.
It was nice meeting you too. And you too, Brittany.
Thank you. Like it was great. It was such a great conversation. I felt like it was just so great. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to see the fashion.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really great. It was a great opportunity to obviously network and connect and talk about just being a Black content creator, right? Like being and being a content creator on such a beautiful month. And like you said, Black history is year round, okay?
It's every day, okay? Black history is every day, not just February, okay?
And each person on here who identifies as Black, you know, every day that we wake up and we do something, it's a part of history. So, you know, again, thank you, Stylink, for having us. Thank you, Chloe, for this great interview. And Key,
you're welcome.
Thank
you, ladies. Thank you for joining Stylink and me in today's panel interview We hope that everyone that was watching, you'll leave here feeling inspired and empowered, most importantly, and maybe even a little creative, okay?
Yeah.
And don't forget that Stylink is a free platform for all content creators to use. And if you want more information, take a look at Stylink's Instagram. We'll post a story so you can easily learn more and register. And have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you to the
Yay.
viewers. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.